Okay, my presentation is over E. coli in raw spinach. Starting off with an overview, I'm going to talk about what is E. coli, how it's transmitted. I'm going to talk about the 2006 spinach outbreak, the causes of the outbreak, symptoms of an E. coli infection, and some preventative measures we can take to hopefully prevent E. coli infections. So, what is E. coli? Escherichia coli is a gram-negative and rod-shaped bacterium, and it is normally found in the GI tract of healthy individuals. And it is whenever it is displaced from that normal environment is whenever it becomes harmful. So it's transmitted through raw or undercooked meats. That's why you hear about a lot of E. coli coming from like ground beef. If it's not cooked out of that and the meat has touched air, it can become contaminated. If milk is not pasteurized correctly, you can get E. coli from that. And fecal contamination of vegetables or water is also a transmission technique. And then cross contamination during food preparation. So maybe in the kitchen when you're touching raw meat, and then you go and touch something else that might be ingested, that could be a way it's transmitted. So the 2006 spinach outbreak happened in the United States, and by October 6th, 199 people were infected over the course of 26 states. And this started back in September. So over the course of about a month, about 200 individuals were infected. 102 of which were hospitalized, and 31 people developed HUS, which stands for hemolytic uremic syndrome, which is a type of kidney failure, which is obviously not good. During this outbreak, there were 3 deaths in total, and they think that it stemmed from prepackaged spinach. The strain was found to be 0157H7 through DNA fingerprinting. They were able to track that down and narrow it down, and because of that, the FDA recalled all prepackaged spinach and any spinach like that was on shelves at that time. So how did this occur? There was a quote here. Investigators with the Centers of Disease Control initially speculated that the dangerous strain of bacteria, E. coli 0157H7, originated from irrigation water contaminated with cattle feces or from grazing deer. So this shows the fecal contamination of the vegetable during cultivation, which is a common way that E. coli is, put into food that the public is going to be consuming. Symptoms of infection for an E. coli infection would be nausea, vomiting, stomach cramps, diarrhea that is often bloody, high fever, malaise, dehydration, and loss of appetite. The different strains of E. coli can affect someone differently, but the 0157H7 is kind of what causes these signs and symptoms. Fun fact, a couple years ago, my brother had this exact strain of E. coli, and I can tell you that he had all of the symptoms that are on this list, as well as nervous system symptoms. So prevention, there's no medication or vaccine for an E. coli infection. Focusing on prevention of cross-contamination, so when you're cooking or anything like that, is really the best thing that you can do, as well as like proper hand washing between touching different food items, whether they're cooked or not. Washing raw produce that you get from the store, you always need to wash it off, or maybe use a vinegar-based produce cleaner. And heat kills E. coli, so anything that you're cooking needs to be cooked to the proper temperature. So in total, or in summary, E. coli is a gram-negative and rod-shaped bacterium. It is transmitted through consumption of contaminated food or water, and the raw spinach outbreak in 2006 highlights how it can affect the public in high high populations. Contamination was thought to be from feces of wild animals during cultivation during this time, which just kind of shows that you always need to take care of any kind of items that are being cultivated, whether that be animal products or vegetables. Signs and symptoms of 0157H7 E. coli could include bloody diarrhea, dehydration, vomiting, and in my brother's case, stroke symptoms. But that might be a unique sitch. And then prevention techniques to avoid these kinds of outbreaks include proper hand washing, avoiding cross contamination at all costs, and heating foods to proper temperatures. And then these are my sources that I used. Okay, thank you.